All right. Well, again, welcome everyone. We want to thank you for being here today for our Best Practices Expo. We're about halfway through. We are fixing to welcome Ms. Esme Rodriguez to do our next presentation. But before we get started, again, I want to remind everyone to go into the chat room or chat box, whatever you want to call it. There is a link for attendance. Now, I know I've got a lot of people who've been putting their name or their title in the school district in the chat box, but that's not quite what we need for attendance. So I just placed the link for a Google form back into the chat box. If you'll click on that and fill out that Google form, it'll send it directly to me. And that's what we'll be using to give your certificates, as well as your email that's in there. We'll be emailing you the questions and answers from today's chat or today's presentation. So if you'll jump back in there and fill that form out while we wait during our break, and we'll be ready to start in just a few minutes.
Buenos días, nomás quería recordarle a todos que si necesitan certificado que estuvieron aquí en este entrenamiento, por favor, impriman la dirección de la página de internet, la vamos a poner en la chat box y así podemos marcar que usted sí estaba aquí ahora y le podemos mandar certificado.
Thank you, Shannon and Katie. Again, we just need you to go in and fill out that Google link for attendance. Several of you have asked if you need to do it for both sessions. No, just one time today, and that will get it. It's real important for us to have that information because when we do that Q&A later, that we're going to send to you guys the resources that Brenda and Esmeralda will talk about today. You will receive that if you have signed in on the Google form. One thing that I forgot to do before the break, so I hope the schools are still with us. Jaime, are you still on here from TEA? Did you want to say anything to either the presenters that are speaking today or to the Winning Promising Practice folks? I know he had a meeting he had to go to, so I'm hoping he's still with us. I meant to call on him at the end before the break. Jaime Horta? Oh, he says he's here, but he cannot. There you go.
Okay.
I think you're.
There we go. I've been granted the power to speak. Thank you. Yes, on behalf of the Texas Education Agency, we want to thank all the LEAs and campuses that are doing an amazing work in the area of parent and family engagement. You know, that's a big part of everything we do. And, you know, during these troubling times for us with the pandemic, we've come to find out that parent and family, our relationships with parents and families are extremely important for us as we try to navigate through these really tough times. So congratulations to all the Promising Practice awardees and the LEAs. Thank you to all the LEAs that have been a part of these Best Practices Expo. This has been an amazing opportunity to hear all the amazing things happening throughout the state of Texas, as Terry noted, not only in large urban districts, but also in rural school districts. So again, thank you so much for all that you do. And thank you to Terry and her team for the amazing work they do in making sure that you all have the resources that you need to be able to implement all the requirements that are put forth in the Every Student Succeeds Act for Title I and the other programs. So thank you so much, everyone. And we hope, again, you're also recovering well from that crazy storm we had last week. We're still in the winter. So thank you again, Terry. Thank you to all the LEAs, and we look forward to hearing from the next school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaime, and I apologize that I didn't get to you before the break. You know, today has had so many moving parts. It's kind of had me confused trying to keep up with certificates and plaques and speakers and chat rooms and attending, getting people admitted. It's been a fast moving day, but thank you, Jaime, so much. And I really do want to take the time to tell Jaime publicly how much we appreciate his support. You know, it's not just money that TEA gives this initiative. It truly is their support, their belief, and their passion. Both Anita Villarreal, well, I'm going to really start up with Corey Green. Corey Green, who's the Associate Commissioner, and then Anita, who's the Director of the program, and Jaime, who's Director. All of these folks, they truly do believe in the power of family engagement. They have conversations with us literally weekly, and sometimes Jaime and I are together more than weekly, because he really does believe in the program. And you know, we couldn't do what we do without the support of TEA. School districts couldn't do what they do without this funding that the agency provides. So Jaime, thank you so much for your support. That truly does mean the world to all of us. So thank you so much. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the second school presenting this morning, and it's Esmeralda Rodriguez, known to me and her friends as Esme. She's the director of the Community and Family Engagement Program there at Grand Prairie ISD. Grand Prairie is a district in the Region 11 area. And Esme has also become known statewide for her work in parent and family engagement. You know, Esme, I was trying to think of a way I wanted to say this that sounded more professional, but I'm just going to say it the way I was thinking it. Esme's like a dog with a bone when it comes to parent and family engagement. When she wants something for her parents and her program, she works until she gets it. And one of those things is she has wanted a parent center for a very, very long time. And I'm sure she's going to share pictures of her wonderful new building. But you know, one of the things I love about Esme is she truly does walk the walk and talk the talk. If you want to get hold of Esme, I'm telling you, you better expect the phone call to be about 8:30 or 9 at night, because that's when she finally slows down at the end of the day. She is out there in her community, and she truly does make a difference. She has served on my committee multiple times. She has been someone I call when I need advice and direction. So prepared to be impressed. Esme's just a little bundle of joy, and her passion for parent involvement is self-evident. So please join me in giving her a warm wave of welcome. Yay!
Hey, hi. Oh my
Esme.
goodness. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Coming to you live here from our Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center at my office. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited, and I'm truly honored and privileged that our district was selected to be one of the presenters of the Best Practices Expo. We're going to focus this morning more on what we're doing right now, because I don't know about you guys, it was a very big deal for us as a school district and myself personally when the pandemic hit us this past year, and then also with the horrible inclement weather that we had last week. And I'm sure you all, some of you may still be dealing with that personally and professionally with the families and yourselves. So welcome, welcome. I'm going to be talking a little bit about a few things. Mainly building parent capacity is the main thing that's going to come through. At least that's my hope. And a brief overview of 5 strategies to increase positive family engagement. And in those 5 strategies, I'm going to highlight a few of our things, especially our Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center, our Grand Prairie ISD Social Work Hub, Kids Inc., Dial Care, and Grand Prairie ISD All Pro Dads. We have so many things in Grand Prairie ISD that we're still able to do, even though we have to do it virtually. I don't know if, I'm sure all of you have to follow the same safety protocols. It was so awesome, though, to hear everything from Northside ISD of everything they have been doing. And I know that that's something we had to really tweak and modify this year, which I'm sure a lot of you are struggling with also. And I'll also review ABCD and then some comments and questions at the end. Just a reminder that we will take all your questions, and then I'll follow up and send a handout answering all the questions and that you all may have of how we did or made things happen with our Family Service Center, our Social Work Hub, Kids Inc., and All Pro Dads. One of the things that we really believe in Grand Prairie ISD, and that I really believe, is that when schools, families, and community groups work together to support learning, children tend to do better in school. they stay in school longer, they like school more. And, that's why we've had a lot of success in Grand Prairie ISD. We're one of the really true leaders throughout Texas and really across all the states with regards to schools of choice, programs of choice in our traditional schools. I don't know about you guys. I wish I could be back in school with all the programs that we have in our school district right now, as maybe some of you have in your school districts. But one of the things that I learned was way back when from my mom and dad, and I really had to honor them and share a picture of them with you guys, because that's what really, like Terry mentioned earlier, that we all go, until our body says no, no, no. And hopefully you all are taking care of yourselves, just like I've had to learn to do also. I've been with the school district now 27 years. And I know we truly try to give our heart to our families, because we know that they can choose to go anywhere in our school district or in our city or out of the district. So one of the things that I learned from my mom and dad was that parents and caregivers are key to student academic achievement. I grew up as a migrant student working in the fields from whenever I was born and given to my parents at a month old till high school. And you know what? It really made me appreciate education. And my parents, it didn't matter where we went to out of state to go they instilled in us education was important, because they only went to second grade. My grandparents they actually didn't even go to school. So they believed that it was very important for us to finish high school, go to college if at all possible, or some technical school, and definitely to be able to be successful. And that's what a lot of our parents feel. They want their children to be successful or to be more successful than they were, which I'm sure you do too. But that's the important thing that we need to not forget. And it doesn't matter where the parents come from, what language they speak, what clothes they wear or don't wear. We need to treat them all with respect and dignity, because that's something that was instilled in me. That's a passion that I have to help our parents is however much possible. Even if I may not have the answer, try to find somebody in our school district to help them. Our students, staff, family, and community partnership outcomes, like you guys and throughout your districts, our goals are always to increase student achievement. I mean, we're all about student achievement, but also to increase positive family engagement. And we know that working together for student achievement, it'll happen. And, it's kind of like a three-legged stool. If you focus only on one, student achievement, but don't focus on the students and staff and the family engagement and the community, then something's going to be out of whack. So what's one thing in our school district we believe in, and that's why I put the family engagement in red, because we know that the more that we include the families in decision making and giving them choices, the more that the kids are going to be successful. And three of the main points with our school district is we love to create success, we empower people, and we lead by example. And I've got to say a big thank you to all our principals, our leadership, assistant principals, all our paraprofessionals, our bus drivers, maintenance. And that's something really that we need to keep in mind, that our staff are working very diligently, and as you all are, and we need to continue to build on that. Our parent involvement or family engagement program falls under the umbrella of LEAP, Learning Elevated for All Parents. Then there's my contact information after the presentation. If you want to call me on the cell phone, text me, and then I'll make time to make sure to get back with you, because sometimes that you can learn even more when you have those one-on-one conversations. I know when we started way back when, 27 years ago, here at the school district, I mean, I was like a lonesome dove. So those of you that may not have a lot of Title I monies, or maybe don't have a whole lot of staff, I want to remind you to hang in there. Like Terry mentioned, we now have a parenting, our Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center, and I'll show you a video in a little bit. But you got to start somewhere. If you have at least one of you focusing on family engagement, you can move mountains, especially if you coordinate and collaborate with other people. I wanted to highlight my liaisons here. Let me see if it'll come on. If it doesn't, Okay, I don't know why not, but that's okay. We'll keep going. I just want to say a big thank you to all the liaisons because they really make things happen in establishing that rapport with our families one-on-one. Our purpose with our family engagement is to definitely encourage parents to actively participate in the creating and implementing of educational programs for their children, to strengthen the relationship between school, staff, parents, students, and the local community, definitely to assist with all communication efforts. And all our liaisons are bilingual, except for a couple of them. And we have a very diverse group. And we definitely want to address barriers keeping parents from being involved. I'm sure you all have, right now, the big thing for us that we learned right away, one of the biggest barriers was the internet connectivity. And our district right away found that out at the beginning when the pandemic hit, like most of your school districts. So we did a lot of hotspots distribution here at our Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center and also at the campuses, and even went out to the trailer parks. We also, we would like to collaborate among all parties. That's the main thing. And that's one of the things we're gonna touch on in a little bit. But with building leadership or the parent capacity and the leadership in the parents, you know, with Bill, we gotta help grow them and develop them. And actually, a lot of parents have a lot of gifts and talents that they bring already, but we need to provide those opportunities. And of course, with the capacity, to the capability to perform and produce, reaching their maximum potential, and the power to learn and retain knowledge. And, you know, we can learn from them as much as they learn from us, but we need to take the time to listen. With building the parent capacity, you know, we focus on three things: equipping, training or mentoring, and creating. So with equipping, we have our Parent University series. I don't know about you guys, we had to really tweak our Parent University series where it was virtual instead of coming in person, because we used to provide them in person in the daytime or in the evening or on Saturday, but now we're all doing them all virtual. And I've been amazed that the parents want to learn, and it's just for us to make sure we provide those opportunities for them. We have the Be Kind Parent Enrichment Series and the Leadership of the Heart Series and Coffee with the Counselor. And we have a lot of online resources. I don't know about you guys, if that's something, your website really has to have a lot of the resources so the parents can access them, or their liaisons can help them to be able to access the information or text it or email it to them. And we have the Dial Care and our Grand Prairie ISD Caregiver series. For their training and mentoring, we have our Handprints on Hearts, our Grand Prairie ISD All Pro Dads, and a lot of partnerships, especially when the pandemic hit. We had to focus on a lot. We used to have ESL, GED classes, and citizenship classes and conversational Spanish classes, but we really had to tweak it and really focus on our partnerships with Mountain View College, Workforce Solutions, and the Grand Prairie Public Library has been awesome. They have a lot of resources that they're providing to our families via virtually, since I don't know about you guys, but we're having very strict social distancing. A lot of the parents, but the ones that come, we come by appointment, or they have to be wearing a mask, just like you all do. At our Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center, we're still having families come in, or we meet them in the parking lot, or we go out and do home visits and leave them the food, water, or whatnot, or whatever information that they're needing. And in creating, that's very important to create that sustainable infrastructure. So we focus a lot on our kaleidoscope of choices, roadmap to learning, SORA, our center, and our social work hub. And those are the main things we're going to highlight this morning. We have the 5 strategies to increase positive family engagement. We're all better and stronger together. And we're going to focus on choices, communication, connections, caring, and collaboration. Who is our customer? That's something that's very important to know. ¿Quién es nuestro cliente? It's the students, the parents, community. It's all of them, and including our staff also. We got to win them over. Remember, we're all in competition with charter schools, public charter schools, public schools, private schools. But the thing here in Grand Prairie ISD is that we want to work for them, because we're all here for them, and we want to know and find out from our parents what's good for them. That choices are important, when that's something that we really take to heart in our school district, and we take the time to listen to the parents. And even then, we may not be perfect as a school school district or staff, but that's an ongoing struggle for all of us, which it may be for you guys too. We have, with Kaleidoscope, we have a lot of choices. We have over 29,000 students in our school district with 41 campuses, and we have over 40 languages that are spoken in our student population. The top 3 are English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. We are an open enrollment school district, like many of you all are, and we invite students from throughout the Metroplex. You know, nearly half of our schools, pre-K through 12, are schools of choice, or we have programs of choice, but we also still have our traditional schools. We also have the uniqueness that students and families can select an educational path that's tailored to suit their interest of their individual child or the students, for them to be more engaged and accomplished, even from a younger age. I have here that we're as early as pre-K through kinder, but you know what? We even have an early head start from 0 to 3 in our couple of our campuses. That one are my Assistant Superintendent Susana Ramirez brought to us, and that's been a very good thing to start at a young age with our kiddos, to get them into our education. You know, we are the 7th largest city in the Dallas or DFW, and the 15th largest in the city or the state. The last information that I got, but we have over 4,100 staff members, and more than 2,000 of them are instructional staff. 25 of our campuses are elementary, and I want to take time to say this information because, you know, we're not the biggest, but we're not the smallest. So those of you that are small or medium or large, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that we continue to think out of the box and try to reach out to our parents. We also have 6 middle schools. We have 3 6th through 12th grade schools, 3 high schools, but I've got to let you know that inside those 3 of those high schools, we have 2 early college high schools also. And we have 3 grades 6 through 12 campuses and 1 alternative education school. And like I said, we have over 40 languages. One of the things is communication is a key to together achieve success. You know, one of the things we've learned is that your family circumstances do not define you or what you can do in life. Communication is definitely vital. One of the second key strategies to help parents. They want to know, we have found through a lot of surveys and getting feedback from, they want to know about safety, the expectation, academics, college readiness, community resources, dress, discipline, and homework. So one of the issues that we had to face was like, even before, we were trying to get information out to them in a variety of ways. And this is where our education comes in. Let me see, here goes.
Esme, if you'll just hit control and then click.
Okay, there it went. So we use a lot school messenger. Some of you from the earliest session, you were asking, you know, I mean, how do you do things nowadays? Well, we're doing a lot of things virtually. So through school messenger or the Skylert, that's how we get a lot of information out to the parents. And of course, the texting, the emailing. So I wanted to show you the school messenger. You know, that's where we get a lot of the information for their phone numbers or emails or get out information. But this works great, but the parents also have to choose, and they have to elect, you know, what kind of messages they want to get. So that's really important that we have done a pretty good job of educating the parents that this is very important, that they take the time to check off the information that they want to receive and how they want to receive it. And also on Skylert and Skyward, that they can get information about their grades, behavior, and attendance, because, you know, parents need to be able to help us out with that. Go to the other one. And we put out that information all over in Twitter, on website, on the Instagram, and we also do home visits. I know some of you may have questions about home visits. It's only certain people that do the home visits. We have to follow a lot of safety, social protocols. We usually have to call the parent first, or text them, or email them and let them know we're coming, and we'll just drop off the food or water or clothes. For sometimes the parents don't even have transportation because they're in transition. So we'll drop it off and we'll call or text them that it's outside and we make sure they get it. But you know what? I mean, it's different right now for all of us, but you know, we still cannot give up. We have a kaleidoscope of choices for families. And let me see if I can show you that a little bit here. One of the main pages that we have on our website, because some of you may be asking or thinking, well, you know, how do we get information out to the parents with all this pandemic going on? And strict, you know, in City of Grand Prairie, we had quite a bit of COVID here in Dallas County, but we have the different resources here for the parents. So one of the things is on our counseling services, all our departments, it's not like we're separate, like family engagement separate from all the other departments. It's all, family engagement is integrated across the board. So our counselors, they get put out as much information to the parents on a variety of services that they provide to our parents. And they even have it where the parents can just, whenever they have a chance, they can go ahead and highlight what information they want to go ahead and get. And then we have this other parent resources. I'm going to take the time to show you, you know, how you can help your child at school. And they can just go on the link because, you know, parents are super busy and some of them are like zoomed out. I don't know if you all are getting that, where they, especially they have 3, 4, 5 kids. I know we have some families that have 5 kids and they have them at different campuses. So there's different tips that they can go and get at any time. It doesn't have to be when we provide the Zoom webinars or the Zoom meetings. We want it at the fingertip for the parents. So anything about college access, anything about scholarships, I'm just walking you through. And even we have for college career readiness, or we have the program Zello. I don't know if most of your school districts have Zello, but that one's very helpful for, it's a software for the students to access online at school or at home. And we have information about financial aid and the Dallas County Promise. You know, some of our kiddos are getting to go to college for free, and even some of the parents are eligible to go to college for free with the Parent Promise. I don't know if all your school districts have that in your neck of the woods. So I just wanted to make sure that we touched a little bit on that for a little bit. The other thing is, let me see. One of the main issues we had going on, and you know, want to be very upfront and transparent, is that was the technology assistance. So our technology department was awesome. I mean, okay, what were the questions the parents were having? What were the issues? So they put everything, all kinds of videos on how to access anything and everything that we have available for the kids to learn at home and that the parents can use to learn at home together with. So there's a whole bunch of lists right here. So I just wanted to let you know when all the different videos, the pre-K through 5th grade for secondary. And I just wanted to take time to highlight that. I mean, I don't know if you all have that in your school districts, which I'm sure some of you have it, but if not, that's something to really work with the technology department and get all those resources posted online and where it's easy for the parents to get. One of the other issues we had was with technology, you know, that student parent tech support, but we had it where the parents could just come here to our family service center and pick up a hotspot, or we even did, like I mentioned earlier, some distributions of hotspots, or then we had them or at the Ed Center or even at the campuses. Some of our family engagement liaisons even would come here or to the Ed Center and pick them up and go and deliver them and drop them off. And I know I did, and some of the social workers, our connections coordinator did also, especially those families that were having issues with transportation issues that weren't able to come. So the main thing is you've got to just keep working. One of the big things we have in our school district with communication is we have district translators and interpreters. Even in the special ed department, they also have interpreters for the families. I don't know if you all have enough staff. I know I always was wanting more staff. Like, I don't know if I mentioned earlier with communication, you know, I started by myself, then we got a secretary, then we got one liaison, then we had 10, and now we have 16 family engagement liaisons, 15 part-time and 1 full-time. I mean, 15 full-time and 1 part-time. But that still wasn't enough to cover all our Title I campuses. Some of you are blessed in the school districts that have enough liaisons at each of your Title I campuses. But the thing that we figured what was very important is to have administrators that support you. And we're very blessed in Grand Prairie that we have leadership that support us, that let the liaisons actually do family engagement. Especially right now with COVID, it's very important that they're able to do the family engagement instead of being pulled to be substitutes or everything else but family engagement, because the families really need us right now. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Well, one of the things that we came up with, that we borrowed an idea actually from Spring Branch ISD, was to have family engagement action team leaders and family engagement action team liaisons. So if we call them FEET liaisons, those are at Title I campuses, and they help us with the family engagement. They're full-time staff, but the main criteria is they have a passion for helping parents and families. And their family engagement action team leaders, they are staff that are full-time at the campus, and they're all professional, and they help us at non-Title I campuses, because I couldn't be everywhere. So that's one blessing that our district's very supportive and has helped us with that. Okay. So let me show you a video of our Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center. That's our third tip with regards to providing connections. Having connections is very, very important. So let me go ahead and click on that. Hello, we just want to welcome you to our Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center, a one-stop shop place where we have our food services department, we have family engagement, we have the connections coordinator, liaison here. We also have Lifeline Shelter and the language placement services. We have family engagement liaisons, and we have family engagement specialists, and we're like the bridge between the home and the school.
Another service that we offer here, the federal state law McKinney-Vento Act, we help families in transitional situations by enrolling their children. Once they are identified, we also assist the families with free food services for the children, free breakfast and lunch, with school supplies, clothing, and referrals to other of our community organizations here in Grand Prairie.
Welcome, Grand Prairie families. We are a service-oriented community. At this location, we help parents who are in need of language services for their students. We also have instructional staff that support teachers, and on top of all of that, we have an American Indian facilitator that is there to help our American Indian community and family. Welcome.
Come see us for assistance with your food service applications here in the building. They can be found also online or at the school of your students.
We look forward to serving you.
All right. Hello, we just want to welcome you. There we go. Sorry. There you go. So I'm very excited and very proud, or I know we all are here in our school district, of our Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center. That's one nugget or jewel that we have in our school district that we've been waiting, or I know I have been waiting for quite a while to let it come to fruition. And thank goodness for our previous superintendent, bless her heart, Dr. Susan Simpson Hall, that made it happen. And you know, that is truly a big investment on creating a sustainable infrastructure. I mean, we have families that come here for food services, the McKinney-Vento program connections, language placement center, and our LEAP, and we also have a community resource that's under our roof here with us, Lifeline Shelter for Families, and they help us with rental assistance for families that are in homeless situations. So, and I think that's something that where, and if it's possible for your district to provide something like that. I know some of us had a lot of parent centers at the campuses, but right now with the pandemic, we have to be real careful with that. So I want to show you this other video of connections, a real good example with our social workers. We have an excellent social work counseling department, and they do an awesome job. Let me show you this real quick.
So school social workers provide a variety of services in GPISD, but the main thing that we do is work with students who are going through a tough time. So that might be mom or dad is going through something. They might have lost their job. They might have financial problems.
With our students that are experiencing homelessness, we want to get them in school right away. So if they are needing basic needs, I try to give them that support by giving them the referrals that they need for shelter, but immediately getting them enrolled in school. And if that means meeting with them regularly to make sure that they have stability, then I will try to ensure whatever I can to make sure that they can come to school every day, be successful, and work with them on an individual basis.
Mental health, so that's a huge thing with GPISD. We want to make sure that every kid comes to school prepared. They're not so depressed that they're lacking in motivation. So we really meet individually with the students and make sure that their mental health is on point.
A lot of people, with mental health, they just want to go kind of like straight into okay, let's focus on your mental health. What can we do with your mental health to get that better? But you got to kind of step back and realize that if their basic needs aren't being met, they're not concerned about their mental health, right? So, you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So you have the basic things that people need, food, shelter, security, right? If they don't have those things, we can't work on, graduating high school or how we're gonna be creative or anything else like that. We've really got to work on those basic needs first. And once we get those taken care of, then we can start working on the mental health aspect and the goal setting and whatnot. So that's another thing that's kind of cool about this job is that I get to do both.
So here at the Hub, we work to help families who are in a crisis situation to provide them with what they need to be successful in schools. What we created at the Hub with a collaborative effort with schools is emergency food and clothing and school supplies so that students can actually start and not go hungry on the weekends and be successful in their academics as well as their social, emotional, and basic needs.
Yay. So, that's something we're very proud of in Grand Prairie ISD, not only our Family Service Center, and because of all the great staff that we have here under one roof. We have families that have minimal gas, and before they used to have to run around all over the city of Grand Prairie. I hate to say that, because food services was in one side of the city, and then our office was in another. The connections program was somewhere else. The language placement center was somewhere else. So having everybody under one roof has really made a difference in providing more equitable services and actually making the services more accessible to our families. And then our social workers and counselors also, that's it's an honor and a privilege for me that we get to work together every day here in our school district, because that takes teamwork. That's one of the main things with having connections, not only with the parents, but with among the staff, especially for our school district that's growing. Maybe some of you, you all, our school districts are growing also. The challenge is how can we get the information out to the families and to the staff so they can know what we have in the school district. Our learning elevator for all parents, that's our LEAP. It's located inside the Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center, but we can be and go anywhere to serve parents and families. We used to be known as the Parent Involvement Center, but now, because we're under the umbrella, the main thing is that we're designed to involve the total family in the educational process. And it includes myself, the Director of Parent and Community Engagement, and like I mentioned earlier, 16 family engagement liaisons, and then we have feed leaders and feed liaisons. We all know that the research shows that parents who are more focused on their children's education make a huge difference in students' achievement, attendance, and behavior. I know I saw that for myself personally with my parents and with my grandparents, instilling that in me and trying to do the best that they could with what they knew for me to have success. And that's the legacy that I want to continue to provide, and that I challenge not only my staff, but I'm challenging on all of you. How can we continue to reach out to parents in a more effective way and in a safe way for your safety and the staff safety, but also for their safety, with the ultimate goal to increase student achievement among all students, because that's what we all are here for. Our mission statement with our LEAP is educate, engage, and empower. You know, we educate parents, caregivers, and families on the services provided, not only at the campuses, the district and community. And right now, we're having to do it virtually, but that's okay. And how do we continue to engage the parents, caregivers, and families to be full partners and to empower them with information? Because, you know, knowledge is power. And that's the main thing we're wanting to focus right now, is to get information out to the parents the best way we can, and to strengthen the relationship and encourage that collaboration, and encourage parents to participate with us and address the barriers that they're facing. Especially right now, last week with the inclement weather, we still have some, one apartment complex that has 40 units or 40 different apartments in their units that still don't have power and water. And, you know, that's something that it affects the kids and the trauma. And that's why our social workers, our counselors are very important to help the children with that trauma. Three main things is with effective partnership outcomes is creating welcoming, inviting cultures, especially with your staff. The more that they're welcoming and inviting, even with this pandemic, we still have to try to do it over the phone. It's very important right now. Honor and value the family contributions and connect the engagement to student learning. And that's what we're really focusing on right now, is in connecting the engagement to student learning with putting everything virtually online and providing the Zoom webinars in English and Spanish. And we're doing more, you know, we're doing sessions in English, another one in Spanish, or some on the week on Saturday, some in the evening, some in the daytime, because the bottom line is we all want to increase positive family engagement. So I know some of the roles of parent caregivers that are very important is for them to be supporters, encouragers, monitors, advocates, decision makers, and collaborators. So, you know, with supporters, you know, how will they be supporting their children's learning and development? And we found out pretty fast that the more that we could provide the information to them virtually, the better. And I'll go back in a little bit depending on how time is and show you some more resources that we have online. But if not, you'll have it, so you'll be able to go and see it anyway. Encouragers, you know, of their achievement identity, a positive self-image, and a can-do spirit in their children. You know, that's something that my parents instilled in me, that, you know, you can do it, you will be able to do it. And that's something that I try to share with staff and with our parents, you know, for us to have high expectations of the kids, but also reasonable expectations, but also to provide those for our parents to be advocates to improve learning opportunities for their children at their schools, and to be decision makers and choosers of their educational options for their children. And that's why we have a lot of schools of choice and programs of choice. And also to be collaborators with our school and members of the community. You know, we have CHAT, School Health Advisory Committee. We have Educational Improvement Committee, like some of you do. We have campus improvement committees, but, you know, we're having to do everything now virtually, which I'm sure you all are doing. And, you know, one of the great tools that we use, and that's on the Region 16 website, is the virtual meetings handout that Terry and her staff provided to us. And I think that's one of a really good tool to share with each other. One of the important things is to remember that we need to model lifelong learning. You know, some of the program services we touched already, you know, our family engagement liaisons at our Title I campuses. And I think I mentioned these already, but, you know, our family engagement liaisons and our staff do a great job providing support for the child in nutrition registration, online registration, and school programs of choice at our virtual GPISD experience. I know some of you are doing in your school districts where we started way back when, our 10 years ago, our GPISD experience, but now we did it virtually, and we still had over 1,000 students that signed up for our programs or schools of choice or in our traditional schools. And we also help with pre-K registration. And that's the thing that I want to encourage you all, that it doesn't matter, it has to be virtual. It can be done. We provided over 10,000 kids school supplies distribution. And I know the main concern was that we not expose the kids. So we had everything delivered straight to the desk of the kids, or when we did the food distributions, we would give out the backpack school supplies, or even our hotspots, we would do it also then. So we can make it happen. Our school district, like your all's, we're gotten very innovative and creative with reaching out to our parents. We did a lot of food distributions with our community partners, with our St. Michael's Church. We do that once a month. We even go out there to the community and help with the distributions. We have it at one of our campuses, Daniels Elementary, once a month also. Anybody can go. They don't have to pre-register. They just show up and drive through, and we load up the food. And that's something the Early Head Start dads help us with that. And also the hotspots. We even went out with the bus drivers and the food services at the trailer parks here in the Grand Prairie ISD to reach out to parents and give them and deliver them and hand out the hotspots. And I've highlighted some of our service center, and I'll show a video in a little bit of our social work hub and our all-pro desk. But I mean, we have a lot in Grand Prairie too, but because of time, we just have to focus on a few things this morning. I wanted to highlight what an awesome job our food services. You know, if a child is hungry, it's very hard for them to focus on learning. So we've given away close to 600,000 breakfasts during our grab and go sites and buildings, and all lunches. We've given out close to over 730,000 lunches during our grab and go sites and at the buildings. And I guess it's about a total of almost 1 million and over 400,000 total meals that have been served. And you know, that might not be a big deal for some people, but it is a big deal for the families that we work with that are in very difficult, extenuating circumstances. I don't know about you guys. I know my husband went to try to find milk and eggs for our grandkids last week, and we couldn't find any. So I felt a little bit about what a lot of our families deal with on a daily basis. And that's something to remember, that we may not have control over the extenuating circumstances that families have, but we do have control over when we have interaction with the kids online or in person. Oh, now I want to hear from you guys, because not only want you to learn from us, but I want to learn from you all. If you all would please put in the chat, what are your areas of strength from you personally, professionally, or as a campus or as a district? If you could jot down one or two in your chat. And then I can have Matthew, if somebody from that's helping me monitor the chat can go ahead and share 2 or 3 people, whatever they put on there of their areas of strength. We'll start with that one first, and then we'll move on to the next couple of questions in a little bit. So jot down in the chat 1 or 2 areas of strength that you have personally, professionally, or your campus or your district has. Hey, Matthew, can one of the people that are helping us share?
Absolutely. So we have communication. Somebody on here had treating people with respect and dignity, and that's great.
Yes, that's and I'll show you a video in a little bit that really exemplifies that. Anything else?
Using technology to engage families.
Yes, awesome.
Being student-centered, compassionate, and teamwork. And then great customer service.
Yes, all right. So let's talk about what are your limitations. If a couple of, you can go ahead and write down what your limitations were. I know when I first started this job, one of my limitations was it was only me, myself, and I was running around like a chicken with her head cut off. But now we have more staff, so that's a strength. So what are your limitations personally, professionally, or as a at your campus or in your district? If somebody they can jot down, and then Matthew, if you don't mind letting us know what they're putting in the chat.
Limitations, being able to expand staff capacity and teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Another one put in COVID limits parent engagement options, as we don't get as much interest even in virtual format.
Right.
Collaborative thought is a limitation.
Okay.
And
Yes.
one-on-one parental engagement.
Yes. And you know what, though, that's one of the things to keep in mind. Sometimes we, as districts or campuses, we get really focused on numbers, quantity, but you know what, we need to focus on quality. Sometimes it's going to have to be those one-on-one interactions we have with our parents and touch them and impact them in a positive way by empowering them with the knowledge of the resources so they can make the best decision for their children, because it's going to make a difference for that family. I'll share a quick story. You know, my daughter, when she was little, I have a son that's 30, going to be 34, and a daughter that's 32 right now. But when she was little, I knew something wasn't right. I was a stay-at-home mom at that time, and I was trying to get my master's in social work, and I didn't know where to go. I knew nothing about Grand Prairie ISD. I knew nothing about the city of Grand Prairie because I had moved up here from San Benito, Texas, way down south. But I knew something wasn't quite right with my daughter because I would teach her the ABCs numbers, and then it seemed like she wasn't getting it. And I was like, so what I did, I walked to the closest campus that was to my home, because I didn't even have we didn't have a second car. And I took my 2 kids up there, and I just started bawling. I mean, you know, when it has to do with your kids, we all can be strong women or strong men or strong persons, but when it has to do with your kids, when you know that something's not quite right. But I had a great counselor, Mary Ann Hudgens. She's retired already. Right away, she made time for me. And you know what? My daughter started going to school at 3 years old for speech classes. She had speech problems, and they were able to take care of her. And I never forget that, how somebody there at the campus that didn't know me from Adam made the time, because I'm sure she had other things to do or probably had appointments. She went ahead and made time for me at that time. And that's something to remember. We have families that show up here at our Grand Prairie ISD Family Service Center, at our social work hub. You know, if they've made it to your campus and they're asking for help, we need to figure out a way, somehow, some way, even though everybody's busy, to make sure that somebody provides them the best customer service, because, you know, they have taken the risk to come and share their heart and their situation with you. So we need to make sure that we help them out. All right. Any other different limitations, Matthew? We'll do the third one. What goal might you set to bring about the greatest improvement in parent involvement, family engagement in your school or in your district? If you can jot down a couple of ideas. Especially right now that we're all struggling with this pandemic. I know we all would do a whole lot of things: family math night, family reading night, family social science night, all multicultural night. I mean, all these things, but right now we're having to do everything virtually. So what would be a goal that you might set to bring about the greatest improvement in parent involvement or family engagement at your school or your district right now? Do we have any answers? Matthew?
I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. Encouraging parents to become lifelong learners, which will rub off on their children.
Okay.
And then somebody else said, look for refurbished devices for parents who do not have them.
Okay.
And internet access.
Okay, awesome. All right. Let me show you this video of our social work hub. This is some of the food that's given away. that's some of the food that's given away. And then I'm gonna show you our Kids Inc. video.
Kids Inc. was formed in 1987 from the Women's Club of Grand Prairie. Our purpose is to clothe the children of the Prairie Independent School District.
My grandson started the 6th grade this year. We were really struggling. We've been struggling for the past 4 years, and they were such a blessing. They told us what to do, how to do it, told us that they were there for us, and brought my grandson clothes, coats, underwear, socks, pants. I mean, he thought Santa Claus had come early.
This year, so far, we have clothed over 300 families, and we continue to work closely with Kids Inc. volunteers to organize and provide these clothing items to the families. We're actually always available and open for donations. They just need to be dropped off.
I've been in Grand Prairie 53 years this year, and I have never been treated the way. I felt like a queen. And her baby, son is my grandson, and it's just really, truly been a blessing.
Did you all hear what she said, that she is treated like a queen? And, that's very important for us to really treat people with respect and dignity, and give them their respect and dignity, because they're already dealing with some very extenuating circumstances, either homelessness or domestic violence or whatever it is. And, they take a risk when they open up their hearts and minds to us. So we need to make sure that we keep that in mind with our providing great customer service for them, and to that respeto, that respect is very important. One of the things that we have dealt a lot with is the trauma of the kids and adults with all this pandemic going on, and then last week, and then a lot of other ongoing issues. So we have what's called Dial Care Mental Wellness, and it's virtual counseling that's available to our 6th graders through 12th graders. However, and that was one of the things that came up. Well, if they're only going to provide it to 6th through 12th grade, what are we going to do with the elementary kids? But those are counselors and social work department team take care of it. So I wanted to make sure that I highlighted our Dial Care virtual counseling that's available with everything that has been going on. It's really nice because they are available Monday through Friday after school hours, and on Saturday and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So I think that's a really good thing. I don't know if all your other school districts have it, but I love that we have it available in our school district.
Esme, I'm going to interrupt for just a second.
Go ahead.
Back to, if you don't mind going back to that slide on the
childcare.
Is that program a bought program, and therefore the counselors and all that are purchased, or the counselors that are used to talk to these kids online?
Right. No, it's a program, and then now the ones for elementary, and then we have our counselors and social workers that are available, but it's free. I mean, it's provided for free for the families. But yes, and I'll send you information about it in the handout for questions and answers.
Perfect. Perfect.
Just because of time, but we also have our counselors and social workers that provide groups, individuals, counseling also for free available. And then we list a community resources list online also for our families on a variety of community resources. And then we're always posting on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything, all our different community partners that send us information. Like this week, with everything that happened last week, we had a lot of families that were needing water and food like right now. So some of our community partners like Gateway Church sent us information yesterday actually by Tuesday, that they were going to be giving out water 2 days. They started giving out water actually they called on Monday, that they were going to be giving out water on Monday and Tuesday between 4 and 6 p.m. And then today and Thursday, they're going to be giving out water and food. So, that's the good thing of us being out in the community a lot. And I live here in the community, I work here and I pray here. And so having those connections and those community partners really helps. So our counselors also are doing it. I know one of our high schools, Grand Prairie High School, is doing coffee with a counselor virtually. I mean, they used to do them before in person, but now they're also doing them virtually. And then we have it, what's unique about it, because they have it in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese parenting series, because we have a social worker that speaks Vietnamese. So, somebody mentioned earlier about how to maximize the potential of your staff. Staff have unique gifts and talents just like parents do, and we need to utilize that and build that leadership among our staff, and also utilize their leadership capacity that they have available already. And on this series, they cover a lot of different topics. And what's been really nice for me is, yes, I'm the director of community family engagement, but it doesn't mean that I have to do it all. We work collaboratively and coordinate with all our departments, and we do it together. And it's amazing. It's so much better for my mental health and for to not have to be running around like a chicken with her head cut off anymore. So keep that in mind. The other thing I wanted to highlight, let me see if I can, I think I was here already. So there is a lot, there's the community resources. One of the things we try to give out to families. This is one of the most updated, but we also have one pager back in front that people can download in English and Spanish of different resources. But water right now, who would have thought before last week that we would all be going crazy trying to track down water? We had some church brothers and sisters from one of the churches. They came and dropped us off water yesterday also. We had Dr. Elba Garcia, our county commissioner, that came and dropped us off a trailer of cases of water, because that's something that our families are needing. So we have to stay on top of it and have people in the community that are ears and eyes, and our families that, like somebody mentioned earlier, that you have those relationships. People will feel comfortable. They'll text you, they'll email you, they'll find you on Facebook Messenger to give you information. The other thing we have a lot going on is families with COVID that were needing information about where to get tested and all that. So that's something we try to share with families. So on domestic violence, homeless shelters, on meals and clothing. So we try to make it where it's available, and you can see here, you can see all these resources. Remember, knowledge is power, and sometimes we can't change the situations, but at least we can alleviate it and give people a little bit of hope by providing the different resources. I know we had a lot of families, so I just wanted to kind of show you, scroll down a little bit. Those resources that are very important information for parents, so the kids can focus on learning. Let's do a little bit of reflection. I think we're getting to the end, because I know we started earlier, right? I may need some clarification on the ending time in a little bit, Matthew. Give me at least a heads up with 5 or 10 minutes. But I want us to do
about 10 minutes.
Okay, so let's do a brief reflection on who are your hard to reach students, parents, and families. I know in our school district, our families in transition, we have over 1,200 families that are identified through the Stewart B. McKinney Act with the McKinney-Vento that are either homeless, that they are in homeless situations, living out of a car or in a tent, or doubled up or tripled up with family members or friends because of need, not because of convenience. So who are your hard to reach families? Or is it, we've had more where the single moms, and with more single dads, this last 3 years, we've had more fathers raising their children than ever before, and grandparents raising children. The last 10 years, we've had quite a bit of that. So, or families with kids with special needs, you know, they deal with a lot of stress. Who are your hard to reach students and parents? Can you tell me, Matthew, what are they putting down? If they can jot it down on the chat.
Right here, let's see, we have McKinney-Vento families and those with kids who involve in the juvenile justice system.
Yes, yes.
Families who are very mobile.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we have homeless, those that spend time in Juarez.
Okay.
And one person put, I wish we had a call center where parents and guardians can call to find resources that may need to be put in place for a referral process.
Right, right. Well, we have, like in our here in the Dallas County, we have 211 that they can call, but we have a program called Stop It. Like if people that they can report any type like bullying or in drugs or anything like that, but sometimes people will go ahead and put in there and we'll get a notification. But that's where you, and like in our social work hub, we have it where people can self-refer, or they can just walk in, or here at our family service center. So we'll have to look at that. Main other questions I had for you to reflect on is, what have you tried that has worked? What do you want to do differently? What are you doing to reach out to them? And have you had to adjust and modify activities at the campus or district level? And how do you address those barriers for all your students to access virtual learning if this is the choice they decide as a family instead of in-person learning? Because I think some of our campuses are 40-60. That they're in person, or the other way around, 60-40. So it varies from campus to campus. District-wide, where they choose virtually or in person. The main thing we're seeing is how can we have them to be more consistent with their attendance, and also with getting online, actually getting into, especially the ones that are choosing virtual, because you know they have a lot of fear with this pandemic, rightfully so, because some of them, the ones that are having the hardest time coming back that we've noticed, at least informally, is the ones that are struggling because they have a sibling that's very high risk, or they're living with a relative that's high risk. So they do not want to come back in person because of that risk. So that's something we've had to really work hard to reach out to them, calling, texting, emailing, even going to do home visits and tracking them down. So, and let them know we need their help to work together as a team. Some of our, the fifth strategy was collaboration and partnerships. You know, this is not an extensive list by any means, but I just wanted to highlight some of our partners that help us quite a bit throughout this year and throughout the years. So kind of maybe jog your brain to maybe reach out to somebody in your community that might be able to help you. I mean, our Chamber of Commerce helps us. They even help us do the college nights, or our career now, even virtually, by helping us do interviews or prepare the students to go do interviews, and we've done that virtually. And ASE, Hispanic Association of Culture and Education, you know, they've helped us with doing the Noche de Navidad to over 250 families, about 1,000 kids, to get food and Christmas gifts. So I mean, it's things like that. We have I didn't even put Kroger's on here, but they helped us with the school supplies so that we were able to give out school supplies to over 10,000 kids. Their big donation of 26 pallets of school supplies, plus a lot of these that are on here also help us, the Grand Prairie Police Department, YMCA. So it's just things to keep in mind. Our ministerial alliances, you got to reach out not only to businesses, but faith-based organizations, because school districts cannot do it alone anymore. A big collaborators with adult education. That was a big modification this year for us, because we would provide like in-person adult ESL and GED classes at our campuses. But right now, since we're not having people coming to our buildings to reduce the exposure to COVID, we've had to really count on our community partners, Mountain View for our ESL or GED English, GED Spanish classes, the public library for ESL and GED classes, toddler time, ladders program, and then Mr. Aranda. I went ahead and put his name and number because he is so amazing from the workforce center. I mean, he would come here to our service center to meet with families and to the library, but now we have having to work virtually also. So, you know, we've had to do a lot of modifications. You know, I wanted to share today what we had to do to change, because I know that's the main thing a lot of us are struggling with, and even us, that we're not very big, but we're not very small. One thing that has helped us, a great collaboration that's helped me a lot, is our All Pro Dads program. It's one of the most inexpensive programs. I know TA cannot say, yes, this is a good program, but I want to tell you from our end in Grand Prairie ISD, but we've tweaked it and modified it to meet our needs here in Grand Prairie ISD, because yes, I help oversee it, but our fathers, talk about building parent capacity. I mean, this father figures, one of them is not even a father, he's an uncle, and he lives over an hour away, and he still helps us because he is invested in his nieces, Mr. Rustin Tholen. But Ventress Goss is our head coach volunteer, and he heads up our team of our Pro Dad assistant coach volunteers and our special teams coach volunteer, Mr. Hamilton, Joe Peña, Check Food, James Medley. I mean, they help us implement this All Pro Dads, which is 1 minute a day, once a month, once a year. The 1 minute a day, you sign up to get text or emails on tips to help you communicate better with your children. And the once a month is, we would have meetings in person. We would have 300, 400 that would come. However, we are not able to do that right now because of the pandemic. So they're doing virtual. What we decided to do, because everybody was having to do a lot of Zoom, we waited. We did one in November and we did one in February, and then we're going to do our Super Cereal Bowl. It's the once a year experience. We would do it at the stadium, but we're going to do it virtually this year. And I'll show you a picture of the All Pro Dads. Let's see if it'll come up.
Join us at the All Pro Dad Super Cereal Bowl breakfast for a morning of fun, uplifting activities with your child. Bring your child their favorite tasty cereal, a picnic blanket, and wear your favorite sports jersey. See you there.
So we would do that at our big stadium. However, with COVID now, we're going to have to do it virtually, but our fathers, they're the ones that they plan it and they help us implement it. We just support them. So wish us luck this year. I know it's going to be great because they've already been planning it. And then we will have a top volunteer celebration because we still have people that volunteer, even if it's virtually, or family engagement liaisons, they drop them off work that they need to get done for the teachers, or the parents pick it up at the door and then they bring it back. So, you know, you have to kind of think out of the box a little bit. Getting towards the end here, ABCD is just to remind us to have an attitude that's positive, and B, to believe in high expectations, and of course reasonable, and C, care, communicate, and celebrate, and D, do your best, be your best, and try your best. You know, and that's all we can do. And especially, I want to go back to the C in care. You know, provide caring for others and the students and to staff among each other, but especially to yourself. You know, because you're not going to be able to help anybody if you don't help yourself, and that's something that I had to learn, and I had to learn it the hard way. I'm being very honest. So try to take care of yourself during this time. I want to finish with, in your role, what is one step you can take to strengthen family engagement, and what is one thing you learned today? Hopefully you learned at least one thing, is the following, that how important it is to just be your best, do your best, and try your best. That's all we can do, especially right now with this pandemic going on. And I know for some of you all also, they were in the same boat as Grand Prairie with having to deal with the power outages and the pipes bursting and having water and flooding all over the place. So what is one step you can take to strengthen family engagement? And then what is one thing you learned today? My hope is that you learned how important it's going to be to do things virtually for your safety and the safety of the parents, but it can still happen. And you can go to our website or you can call me and I can share more things with you. I know we had limited time, but I just wanted to highlight those 5 different main things: the social work hub, the Grand Prairie Family Service Center, and also our All Pro Dads and our Dial Care. I thought those were very important. Any questions, comments right now, Mr. Matthew, that you heard from anybody?
They love All Pro Dads, that's for sure. And they're putting some of their own programs, different activities into the chat.
Great.
They're bombarding us right now, so that's
good.
awesome.
Well, let me tell you, we've had watchdogs, we have All Pro Dads. A main thing I learned with All Pro Dads is it has a lot of flexibility. It's very inexpensive, $50. We get charged $50 per Title I campus. I mean, it is very user friendly. It's a web access curriculum, but of course we have to tweak it now because of the pandemic. But I will send you, Matthew and Terry, what we did. Our parents, our fathers did monthly challenge. Are you there? Yes. Oh, that's hold on. What we did was just simple, that they would just do, we did 2 meetings, and one in December, one in February, and then of course our Super Cereal Bowl. And we were trying to do the Days of Presence, but because we had quite a bit of COVID here, we decided safety first. But we'll see how it is in March. One thing we added with the All Pro Dads that we hadn't done before, and let me show you this real quick, is our All Pro Dads award. That we're going to give them. One of the dads got a $75 gift card donated, and just to get some more of the father figures, their kids involved, and highlight their engagement at home, because a lot of things are happening at home. And one of our team head coach, Mr. Ventures, shared with me the other day that, we know that this virtual learning is crazy, but he has found that it's been a blessing, and he's grateful for it because he has gotten to spend more time with his kids and really connect with them and engage with them. And that's one thing I get reminded. One of the grandfathers shared with me how and I saw his little boy. He was like, he told one of the really important things with All Pro Dads is you share a proud moment. I am proud of you because, and the father figure shares it with the child, or each child, and then the child shares it with the caregiver, with the father figure. And it can be the mom. We have mommies and daddies. It doesn't matter. Anybody can participate in this. That's what's been really good. And the child was saying, his father was incarcerated, and he turned around and told the grandfather, I am so proud of you, Papa, because you love me and you take care of me, and you have been there for me when nobody else could. And you know what? I mean, how do you evaluate that? That's powerful. And they just gave each other a hug. And it's these moments right now that we're all going through with this pandemic and everything that happened last week. It reminds us how important we need to be grateful and thankful. One, that we have life, that we have health. Hopefully everybody's as healthy as they can, and if not, take care of yourselves. But how important what each and every one of us does with student and family engagement. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity to present this morning. I mean, there's so much to cover. Just wanted to try to summarize more of what we could do virtually. and what we do here with some of the jewels that we have. But I mean, we have so much more. We just need more time. But thank you, Matthew, for helping us make sure that it would go as smoothly as possible. Any comments, questions that people have that we can address before the handout that we're gonna send back responses to?
Lots of positive feedback for both presenters. And we'll be forwarding that to both you and to Brenda at probably within the next couple of days. But I do want to give one comment to both of our presenters, and I wanted for everybody who's here in attendance to hear this. Both of these ladies were really scrambling and adapting their presentations around the Great Texas Freeze that we all went through last week. And they did an amazing job. They both ran into some technical issues as we were doing run-throughs and as we were even getting everything set up this morning. And both of them persevered. They showed tremendous adaptability. And those are the two greatest traits that you can possess as a PFE specialist or liaison, is that no matter what obstacles you face, you're going to find a way somehow or another that you're going to overcome. And I just wanted to recognize both of you for that, because you both did. You both overcame. And it was great just to watch that. Even if I didn't get to see your presentations, just to watch you two really make it through and push through the obstacles that you guys faced. That was awesome. So thank you for definitely pulling through and bringing your best practices to all of us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. And oh man, everybody take care of yourselves. I wish we could see each other in person, but it's great to see you on Zoom, and we'll work hard to send you back great answers to the Q&A handout.
Thank you so much, Esme and Brenda. You've both done a stellar job and has given us so much food for thought and ideas that schools can move forward to be better and stronger. I do want to remind everyone that our plans are to have a face-to-face, parent involvement conference in December. So one of the things I want to show you very quickly is where you can go on our website to maybe complete a call for proposals if you are interested in presenting. So you go to our webpage. That first you just go to Region 16, www.esc16.net, and then you'll scroll down and you see this little blue box that has our PFE logo on it. Shannon's going to click on that blue box. And that's going to take you to our website. And goodness, there's tons of information on our website, so I sure don't have time to go through all that, but she's going to scroll down, and on the left-hand screen, you're going to see where it says 2020 PI Conference. Now, we don't have anything but a mark your calendar there because our conference site doesn't go live until April 15th. But I want you to begin now thinking about bringing some parents, bringing your parent liaisons to this conference, because it is a stellar conference because we have sessions specifically for parents, specifically for your parent involvement liaisons. Both of these ladies that have presented today have been very involved in the conference, sending people, bringing parents, and I think it's strengthened them as a staff. But I know a lot of you guys are doing good work out there. Submit a proposal, and it'll be on this page starting April the 15th. But if you're interested in getting a copy of the call for proposal before April the 15th, if you'll send me, Shannon, Katie, any of us, Matthew, an email, we would be glad to get you a call for proposal, and you can begin thinking about which strand that you would like to present information, because a lot of you have good things to share. So we are so excited to be able to do these meetings face to face. Also, I want to let you know we probably will have about 2 more expos before the end of the year, but we have not set those dates. We know one of the topics will be on good customer service in schools. The reason why places like Grand Prairie and Northside are doing so well is because they understand and value their parents and their students as customers. And as a result, then it's easier to be successful and to have that culture of care. But that we know we'll be doing something in that area, possibly another expo on cultural sensitivity. If you have some specific things you would like for us to address, rather than put them in the chat room right now, feel free to email either, again, me, Katie, Shannon, or Matthew, and give us some ideas so we can begin to move forward in planning these next expos. Above everything, stay safe, care about your parents, care about each other, and we're going to get through all this pandemic and all this weather issues, and we're going to come out of this stronger than ever. Take care, and thanks again, Esme and Brenda. You all have a great day. Bye-bye.